Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video they're back again with another reaction to Magnus Betnér, and this video is titled Magnus Betnér on God. I've done quite a few reactions to him, he's been funny so far, but this video I'm expecting to get a bit wild, so if you're extremely religious you might want to skip this one. But let's get right into it for today. Let's go, my friends.
I don't care if you like me or hate me, I'm like Bush in that sense. No, he had his last press conference yesterday. Did you catch that? Yeah. He said that America's reputation abroad wasn't affected in a negative way by his presidency. He actually said that. That's cool. I think he stole that line from Genghis Khan, actually. No, it's good. It's a good one. We don't do many sex jokes in Sweden either. You have a lot of that here. We don't do sex jokes in Sweden. We fuck instead. Inauguration's coming up. You excited by that? Yeah? I think that's going to be good. I like that guy. It's going to be cool. I'm a bit scared, though, about the fact that they have an opening prayer at the presidential inauguration.
Oh.
Doesn't that make you scared? No. You know, the most powerful man in the world has another guy talking on his behalf to a fictional character. I know, you believe in God, I know. All Americans do. 92% of Americans believe in God. I guess that's what happens when you don't have health care.
He violated them.
I mean, there are a lot of opportunities for God in this country. If not having health care isn't going to make you pray, a simple cab ride in Manhattan will. So, I mean, a lot of opportunities. I like God, though, as a fictional character. I like him. He's I think it's schizophrenic, really. God. You ever thought about this? He's in almost every armed conflict in the world. And he's on both sides, on all of them. It's going to be hard to be a God. And he changes his mind constantly. In God 1.0, you've got to wear that little hat and you can't eat pigs, right? In God 2.0, you can eat pigs, but you can't wear the hat. Unless you're a woman going to church, then you need a hat again. There's lots of hats and pigs in God.
It is a little bit confusing based on different religions.
You wear the hat and you can't eat pigs. That's the big thing with God, hats and pigs. There is some sort of correlation between hat and pig. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But one thing I find funny, if God didn't want men to eat pigs, why did he make pigs from the start? That's the kind of problems I have with God. If God, like the believers in God 3.0, they think that women should wear a veil, right? In that case, why didn't God just build a veil in from the start? Wouldn't that have been an easier solution? God doesn't like gay
That's a good point.
In any of the versions. That hasn't changed. It's the same. If God don't like gay people, why did he put the prostate where it can be touched?
Oh. Oh, that's crazy.
Anybody read the Quran? No? But you do know that that's the original book, according to the believers of God 3.70. It's true, it's the original book. God has had that book since the...
Really? The Quran's the original book? I always thought the Bible was? Well, maybe there's a book before the Bible. I don't really know. Like, we learned some Christian history in school, of course, but yeah, I'm not really religious. I would say I'm more agnostic, but is that real? The Quran's the original book? Can't be.
It's true, it's the original book. God has had that book since the start of time, which was like, I don't know, 10,000 years ago if you ask me. How did you get that? Oh, we added up all the people in the Bible. Oh, really? You took the scientific publication we call the Bible and you added everybody in it up and got the sum 10,000 years, and you think that's a way to see how old Earth is? Yeah. You don't think it's strange in any way that like 980 of these years is one guy called Noah? I think Noah had a strong heart. That's the problem. Anyway, God's only been around for like 4,000 years. I have no idea what he did for the first 6, but I guess he was building something that we haven't figured out yet. I don't know. I have no idea what he's doing. People in Sweden, I finally figured out what you can't do in Sweden. Because you can do a lot as a comic in Sweden. Nobody gives a shit. But you couldn't joke about Jesus in a church. That's what you couldn't do. Probably because the joke was that Jesus was probably gay.
Oh. What?
I mean, just think about it. If you're not gay, are you going to hang around with 12 men in dresses for 3 years? Are you really? And you're going to hell. Probably. I just think it's a nice threat to give to somebody you don't believe in God. You know? It's kind of like saying, you might get run over by a unicorn. Oops, I better not do this. The thing with God is, let's say he exists. Let's say he exists. And he believes all this shit that's in his books. He's a fucking racist, warmongering, homophobic moron, and he exists. I wouldn't have any problem saying, fuck you, man. Alright, you exist, but you're still a fucking ass.
I mean, he's making some crazy good points. Like, I get where he's coming from, but man, this guy is wild. He literally don't care. I have respect for him to getting up there. He's obviously very funny, man. But that takes kind of balls to get up in there and say the stuff he's saying as well.
Fuck you, man.
That's wild.
You're still a fucking asshole. Get out of my face. You might go to hell, but you're probably going as well. I know that's hard for an American audience. I'm sorry about that. I'm from Sweden, so bear with me. And I'm sober. That's never good for a Swede. First sober day in a year, so bear with me. Water. But the Quran, God had that book from the start, right? According to the believers of God 3.0. Why didn't you just give us that book from the start? That's the kind of problems I'm having with God. If you had that book from the beginning, why couldn't you just give us that book first? Why did you have to let us go through all this shit with Jesus and Moses? That fucking idiot. What's Moses doing? He's supposed to be walking from northern Egypt to Jericho. That's like 300 miles. Takes him 40 years. Is this a reasonable walk? I mean, how fast have they been walking?
That is a super long time.
Is that too much? Is it asking too much? 2 miles an hour? Like 2 hours a day? They had nothing else to do but walking. That's the only thing they were doing. Like 4 miles a day. Is that too much? Is it? Like 6 days a week? You've already done the maths. It's more than 1,200 miles a year. They're going to walk 300 and they're out there for 40 years. I mean, Moses' friends, they must have been knowing that Moses has no sense of direction whatsoever. Every time they go out of place and Moses says, we're going to the left, everybody goes to the right and they get to the right place, right? All of a sudden they're following him on this 40-year-long walk. Nobody during this 40-year-long walk takes the time to just tap Moses on the shoulder and, you know, like ask him, Moses, are you sure we haven't passed this stone before? And it's not like yesterday either. It's 15 years ago we passed this stone. Are you sure you know where you're going? He's sure he knows.
This part is too good.
Corner here, I think. Jericho is supposed to be here. He must have been having some doubts, though. Moses, you know, talking to God and all. He did, you know. I don't know where I am. You said it was just a short walk. I mean, couldn't you just burn in bushes the entire way? Because I'm lost. I could use that GPS. That'd be unrealistic, of course, if Moses had a GPS. I mean, if God all of a sudden gave a GPS to the guy who can part oceans and make water spring from a stone, if he all of a sudden got a GPS, that'd be like a fairy tale. So I realize it's unrealistic, but still. Well, I wish I had more time. I would tell you something about Gaza as well, but I don't. So that's all the time I have. Nice talking to you. And
that is really good. Like, it's kind of educational, very smart, man. This guy, I like it. Okay, so that was Magnus Betnér on God. So this one was a bit offensive. You're religious, you might be offended by this, but I'm not really religious. I would say I'm more agnostic. Like, you kind of learn it in primary school. I remember we'd kind of like learned a bit about Christianity, obviously. Like, we'd visit the church. And I quite like the story. Some of the stories are pretty good, but is that true about the Moses and the miles? Was it that short of a journey? Honestly, I can't really remember how far it was. And the burning bush, can't you just have a burning bush the whole way? I like it. It's obviously poking the fun. And yeah, it's kind of true as well. He points out the fact that when there's a war, both sides pray to God, because like, you think you're in the right, you're all praying to God, of course, and it's kind of like helping both sides if you think about it. So I never really thought of it like that before, but man, I really enjoyed this video. Something a bit different. I didn't really hear many comedians speaking about religion from what I've reacted to. There's a few, of course, but yeah, I quite like it. It's pointing out kind of holes in the theories, and also about the Quran like being the original book. Well, I went out the book from the start. So if you guys want more reaction videos like this, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a great day, everyone.